J-Hope didn't just go solo. He went full on savage. This is the story of how J-Hope shattered records, rewrote the rules, and built a kingdom of his own. Without a label, without shortcuts, and without compromises. Welcome to the reign of a one-man revolution. J-Hope, the solo conquest. The curtain is falling on the first chapter of J Hope's solo crusade, and he's not walking off stage, he's walking off victorious. From the beginning, J Hope was one of the loudest, boldest champions for solo projects in BTS, and witnessing his historical run, his independent success, the ground that he covered, land that he conquered, his fearless creative direction, and the unrelenting fire he's brought to every release, it all makes sense. There's just too much power in him, too much voice, too much vision, too much of something uncontainable for it to be anything less than shared with the world. He doesn't just make music, he sets it ablaze, a force that doesn't blend, doesn't bend, doesn't dilute. J Hope was never meant to fit in. He was meant to stand alone. And when a talent like that finds its purpose, it doesn't ask for permission. It simply takes everything. First Asian native act to sell out a stadium in two different continents. Let's set the record straight. He didn't just sell out BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, he oversold it. In a time when concerts were still crawling out of the ruins of a global pandemic, when inflation was breaking backs and wallets, when international travel was still half frozen, J Hope packed a stadium. No opening acts, no headliner, no BTS backup. Just him. One man, one name, one movement. And then he crossed the sea and did it again in Japan, selling out Kyocera Dome. With more than 30 dates, he's on track to cross the 70 million line, potentially blowing past that mark. Put that into perspective. The Jonas Brothers, a household name in the US, downsized their venues and canceled dates because they couldn't sell tickets. And there are other more established artists in the US who are scrapping their tours because they couldn't sell tickets. Even legacy acts are struggling to fill seats. J Hope had to contend with the effects of an economic downfall, a devastating fire in Los Angeles, and yet he cleared every stop. He didn't just shrink, he scaled. He faced down the risk, the scrutiny, the loneliness of standing solo, and came out on top. Even more staggering, every successful Asian soloist who's broken into the US market grew up in it, shaped by it, and had roots in Western systems. J Hope didn't. He's not even fluent in English. He had no hometown advantage, no built in network, no privilege of being familiar. Yet, he carved out his space with nothing but talent, tenacity, and vision. Asian native soloist with the most Billboard Hot 100 entries. Let's talk numbers. 8. J Hope now holds the record for the most Billboard Hot 100 entries by any Asian born soloist. 2019, Chicken Noodle Soup. 2022, More and Arson. 2023, On the Street. And in 2025, all the songs that he released post-military charted. LV Bag, Sweet Dreams, Mona Lisa, and Killin' It Girl, which landed on the top 40 no less. But these aren't just digital ghosts or playlist-friendly flukes. These are songs that earn their way, charting with real airplay, global traction, and cultural weight. And the process, that's where the story gets real. J Hope left his comfort zone. He didn't just experiment, he uprooted himself, relocated to LA, sat down with Western producers and songwriters, changed his creative process entirely. For a man who's always directed his own art, who's always been the engine behind his songs, that shift was massive. And by his own admission, it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And it paid off. That risk, that reinvention led him to a Billboard Top 50 hit. It wasn't luck, it was evolution. A new standard in performance. With success comes a price, and the price is scrutiny. The moment you rise, they wait, they hover for a crack, a stumble, one weak note to weaponize, 1 second of fatigue to twist into a takedown. But in every show, every city, every stage, J Hope gave them nothing but brilliance. 100% pure excellence. From Soul's kickoff to the heat of Lollapalooza, he rapped, sang, danced with the intensity of a legend, the precision of a machine, and the heart of a poet. He didn't just perform, he raised the damn bar. Most artists make their name in a single domain. There are dancers who sing a little, rappers who throw in a melody, but J Hope proved he could do all three and do them at a level few dare to attempt. And while he's not out there trying to be a male Adele, let's be clear, he can sing. And frankly, that's more than most so-called vocalists can honestly claim. But more than that, it was the storytelling. J Hope didn't string a set list together. He crafted a narrative, a cinematic arc, connecting Hope World, Jack in the Box, and Hope on the Street. His concerts weren't musical portfolios. They were living, breathing art pieces. They didn't just showcase his range. They told his story in motion, in sound, in soul. The full circle of Lollapalooza. This moment needed its own chapter. In 2022, just before enlisting, J Hope stepped onto the stage at Lollapalooza Chicago, alone. His first time headlining a global festival, and a huge one at that. His first time without the safety net of BTS. 110 people watched. He didn't just hold the crowd. He had them in the palm of his hand. He bounced between concepts with terrifying ease, from grit to rage to reflection to reverence. Every transition was seamless, every emotion real. It wasn't just a debut, it was a declaration. He didn't just show up to prove he could survive without BTS. He showed up to prove he could stand as a headliner in his own right. Now, after 18 months, in uniform and 31 city tour, he returned to Lollapalooza, this time in Berlin, to close the chapter and close the night. If Chicago was his trial by fire, Berlin was his coronation. He had flawless vocals, surgical precision in his footwork, and he had unshakable command of the crowd. And yet, what made this moment iconic wasn't just his performance, it was his presence. He wasn't pushing anymore, he was flowing, he was free, and in some quiet flickers of expression, you could feel the relief, the satisfaction, the sheer joy of knowing you did it. He wasn't just delivering, he was immersing himself in every chant, every roar, every second. Conquering the UK. Let's not forget the other side of the Atlantic. In 2023, J-Hope became the first K-pop soloist in history to debut in the UK Top 40 with On the Street, featuring J. Cole, landing at 37. But that wasn't a one-time entry. He made history again, becoming the Asian native soloist with the most entries ever on the UK Top Singles chart. In 2025, Sweet Dreams held strong on the UK official physical singles chart for 12 straight weeks, the longest ever by a K-pop soloist. And here's why this matters. The UK is one of the toughest markets in the world to crack. Foreign acts don't just waltz in and make noise. Only a handful of Asian artists have ever managed more than 5 charting singles, and J-Hope just elbowed his way into that elite class. No major label support, no shortcuts, just grit. This entire era wasn't powered by a marketing machine. There was no Western label pulling strings behind the curtain. No paid playlisting, no pre-release hype blitz, just raw music raw talent, and the unwavering loyalty of a grassroots fan base. And yet, every city, every stop, every stage, J Hope left a mark. Even Lollapalooza was stunned by the scale and quality of his show. He didn't cut corners, he carved legacies. Sick or healthy, tired or fresh, he showed up and delivered moments that made history. Ambition to reality. J Hope didn't just whisper dreams, he announced them, bold and unapologetic. Consequences be damned. He wanted a world tour, he wanted chart records, he wanted global domination. And then he got it. Highest grossing tour by an Asian native soloist, multiple Billboard Hot 100 entries, UK chart reign. He didn't just dream big, he had the guts, the vision, and the brutal discipline to make it all happen. I think what J Hope has done is really nothing short of historic. It's groundbreaking in more ways than one. It's very common for many solo artists to actually succeed, but for J Hope to actually do it almost single-handedly, and I mean, of course he had help. He had staff to work for him and execute his ideas, but we we heard just how much control he has over this entire tour and all the other projects that came in to support this tour, the single that he released, everything else. He was, according to his manager, he was in every single chat group just to make sure that he's overseeing everything, the entire setup, the entire narrative, everything was his idea. And what's even shocking is that there is so the the kind of promotion and the kind of marketing was very, very organic. And and knowing, given that he has control over everything, I am also convinced that even on the marketing side, it was his call, and yet he was able to achieve so much. This is not easy. Even established Western artists are cutting down on their tours, canceling dates, and he's here just overselling the venues. So yeah, I think the real impact of this we're going to fully appreciate once all other Asian artists starts their journey towards the West, because then we'll know and we'll realize just how difficult he had it, just how magnificent he was able to pull it off, and just how groundbreaking, really, the things that he has achieved. I have absolutely no doubt that he will continue to share the kingdom he first built together with his six other brothers. But he also built his own. And I am very, very sure he will reign on that kingdom for many, many years to come. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And also share the video if you can. That's really helping my channel. Please donate to the channel. You should see the QR code. And also, please follow me on X and also on Patreon. There is a lot of great conversations happening there. And also, if you can, please subscribe, be a member of my YouTube community. I'm going to start uploading content, and it's going to be a separate one from the ones that I am uploading here. There's a lot more things to cover, a little bit more spontaneous, a little bit more unhinged. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you around.